Scout Fantasy Sports.
All right, we're back. Hour number 2, Scout Fantasy Sports. Dr. Roto along with Adam Ronis here with you until 3 p.m. We can do that, right, Adam? We can fit people in, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I decided? I decided today, actually I've decided before today, but I really think, and I'm going to go on a limb here, I'm going to start a ruckus, Ronis. I'm going to start a ruckus, and I'm going to stand behind and let you get in the middle of it. I don't think there's a better 3 people for fantasy baseball than Sean Childs, Adam Ronis, and Dr. Roto. Just saying it. And they all are found where?
ScoutFantasySports.com. Really, guys, and for those that have followed me for years know that I'm not going to put support behind something that I don't feel is really good. But Sean Childs is, one of the best high-stakes players around. Look, he's an NFBC Hall of Famer. It speaks for itself. He's won a lot of money, and he puts out diligent profiles. He's in the process of updating him now with all the changes. He's coming back from labor. Obviously, Doc has done well in a lot of industry leagues, and obviously myself as well, and we play in the high-stakes arena as well. So we've won, and you could check out our work. And, I have not written as much content as I have for Scout because I'm pretty much writing every day. So there's so much content there. Our rankings are there. I'm updating them every day. Obviously, things change. So moving guys up, and it's a good product. So if you guys want to win your league and be competitive, this is the place to be.
And you know what I was thinking, Adam? Seriously. Twitter, 1 million people tweet at you, and you don't always respond. But if anybody puts a question in the forums, the 3 of us are responding. I mean, how cool is that Sean, you and I are all responding to people's questions, whatever they are. Good question, bad question, makes sense, doesn't make sense, we're responding.
Yeah, members obviously get priority. If you're a member, you post it there, we're going to answer it relatively quickly. We will get to it. Maybe there's a little gap, but one of us will see it, and we'll make sure we answer the question to help you. And that's what we're here for. So take advantage of it and check it out, ScoutFantasySports.com.
All right, let's do that. So let's get back to the Mixed League Tout Draft. Now, let me ask you this. Are you happy? You're an auction. I know you like auctions and drafts. If you could be in any tout you could be in, which one would you choose? Would you choose this one?
Yeah, this or the Mixed League auction. Again, the mono leagues are fine, but it's just limited player pool, and if you have a few injuries, you're in trouble. There's just not as many replacements. So I prefer to play in the mixed leagues.
I do too. I couldn't agree with you more. So let's look at each team as a whole, okay? Because if and you go on here, I can see it on the site here. I can do it mixed draft position, the grid. Let's take a look very quickly. Rudy Gamble, Zunino, and Maxwell. He's got Ian Desmond, Gallo, Smoke, Harrison, Polanco, Crawford, Trout, Yelich, Kiermaier, Sousa, Chu, Brantley. You like Rudy's offense?
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. I thought the Gallo pick was smart. He obviously gets a big boost in OBP. So I think people look at this draft, and if they don't know it's OBP, they're like, what the hell? Why is Joey Gallo going in round 5? That's a reach. It's not. I mean, if he could just up his average a little bit, and then that OBP goes up to 350, and the guy had 40 home runs last year. So there's some risk for sure, but the power is legit, and this is not average, so the OBP helps. Desmond, I expect to bounce back. He obviously only played like half the season. He's got some speed. He's got some pop. So, overall, I think it's solid.
And I like Rudy's pitching staff. Syndergaard, Nola, Gray, Morton, Snell, Eduardo Rodriguez, all guys I like.
Yeah,
Iglesias, Rivera, Pedrosian. These guys, I like this is a good team, Ronis.
Yeah, he came away with 2 closers with Iglesias and Rivera. I like them a lot, and Pedrosian always a dark horse to close. He even got Soria as well, who I think should open the season as the White Sox closer. So, yeah, he's always a tough opponent. I know he'll be there in the end. John Gray was a good pick. He actually had a better ERA at home. So if he can somehow get it down on the road, and Charlie Morton has looked lights out here once again in the spring. Of course, there's always the question mark of how many innings will he go, but we're looking at every guy like that in these rounds.
All right, Ray Murphy from Baseball HQ, Barnes and LaCroix as catcher. Can we invest in Jonathan LaCroix even though he isn't a teen yet?
Very risky at this point. We're getting closer to the start of the season. Like, when do we worry about it? So, yeah, I'm probably avoiding for now.
All right, Matt Carpenter, Matt Chapman, he went with the Mats at the corners. I think those guys are very high on Matt Chapman this year. I like Matt Chapman, plays good defense, might hit 240, could hit 20, 25 home runs. Are they higher on Chapman than you are?
No, I like him. Again, I'll take him as a corner infielder. He's got a great glove, so that's going to keep him on the field. He's a little bit behind here in the spring with an injury, but he's got legit pop. 14 homers last year, 84 games, and he does walk a little bit, so he's not going to be a great average hitter, strikes out a lot, so not an asset in OBP, but not as bad as in an average league. I thought the Carpenter pick was terrible, man. I get this is an OBP league, but this guy's already dealing with a back injury, and they're saying 3 weeks away from opening day, they don't know if he's going to be ready. He's 32 years old. He's had a lot of injuries.
In round 6, that was very early.
That was an OBP play. I get it. 377 career OBP, 384 last year. But he's not healthy right now. I don't see how you could take him in the 6th round, so I was stunned by that pick.
I'm not a big Zach Cosart guy. I don't like Neil Walker. I like Buxton and Bellinger, Braun, Fowler, Winker. Cron is interesting to me. Cron just needs an opportunity to play every day. He's in Tampa. He should play every day, right, Ronis?
Yeah, I think he'll play every day. He's got some pop. So, yeah, that's a fine pick late. You might get some home runs. Not a great lineup. But, yeah, I think he showed flashes when he played. He had 16 homers in 100 games last year. Drove in 56. So he just didn't get the opportunity to play every day with the Angels, and he should get it here with Tampa.
All right, the pitching staff: Greinke, Price, Bundy, Minaya, Gohara, Giolito, Green, Melanson, Allen, Woodruff. I don't think I like this one. I think I like some of the guys, but Greinke's his ace. I like Price as a number 3 more than a 2. And then you got a bunch of guys that you're hoping are going to be good.
Yeah, I like some of the arms. Look, Price is a wild card. I have not drafted him. He didn't have surgery, and the elbow was a problem last year. So he could be really good, or you get 50 innings out of him. So I'm concerned about him. You got Allen and Melanson as closers. I'm fine with that. I like Minaya. He was definitely someone I was looking at. Gohara's a little bit behind with a groin injury. He's got a good arm. Not loving Giolito for this year. So, yeah, there's some work to do here on the pitching staff.
All right, Tim McCullough, Travis d'Arnaud, and Christian Vasquez. Hoskins, Arenado, Belt, Kipnis, Andrus, Semien. I kind of like that infield a little bit, especially if Kipnis can keep hitting.
Yeah, Kipnis having a scorching spring, 6 home runs, and this guy looks like he's on a mission. I know there were some trade rumors in the offseason, and I think that really upset him. And he just wasn't healthy last year, and that happens a lot. So Kipnis, let me tell you, though, man, he is rising up draft boards. In that great fantasy baseball invitational I'm doing, it's a 15-team league, he went in round 15. Just like 3 weeks ago, you were probably getting him round 20.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so look, the guy 2 years ago, 23 homers, 15 stolen bases, batted .275. I don't think he's an elite power hitter. He's only had 1 season of 20-plus home runs, but he has shown that he can steal bases, and this is a good Indians lineup. So it's all about health, and right now he's healthy, so he's worth taking a shot on because we have seen him do it before.
All right, his outfield: Cespedes, Mazzara, Grichuk, Marwin Gonzalez, Jackie Bradley, Kevin Pillar. I used to like Nomar Mazzara, Ronis. I did. But then I expected him to take that next step. And I just haven't seen that step yet. I don't know. So I think I kind of just don't draft him anymore. I don't know. I mean, he's a good hitter. I guess I was expecting greatness, and I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, he's still young. He's 22 years old. So I think...
But he's been around forever.
This is his 3rd year in the majors.
I know. He's been around. Well, he's with the minors when he was like 17. Wasn't he around like?
Yeah, but I'm saying we've seen 2 years at the big league level. He came up as a rookie. I get what you're saying, though, because we didn't really see a jump from last year. We saw, and this is the problem that people do. Okay, he came up as a rookie, 20 homers, 64 RBIs. Okay, now he's going to have 30. No, he had the same amount of home runs, 20. Now he had a lot more RBIs because he was in good opportunities. 253 average, so the strikeout rate went up a little bit. He did draw more walks, but yeah, there could be another level in him. We haven't seen it yet, but I'm with you. I really haven't drafted him, and Tim took him way too early. He took him in round 6.
Yeah, the average, not very good. I mean, I know it's an OBP league. I get that. The runs scored is not very good. The stolen base is not very good. I don't know. I guess the word I have for him, if you ask me, I think he's one of the most overrated players in fantasy baseball. Not that he's bad. There's a difference, right? We talked about that. Not that he's a bad player, but taking him in 6 rounds too early.
Look, if he's hit 20 home runs again, it is. Well, first of all, he doesn't go in the 6th round. I don't know why he went so early. He goes usually 10, 11, I think. I don't know his ADP offhand, but I think it's around 10, 11. It's definitely not the 6th round. I have never seen him go in the 6th round. So, but look, if he does what he did last year, the RBIs are great, but where else is he helping you? 20 home runs from the outfielder is not great. 64 runs, terrible. 253, and then OBP 323, okay. But yeah, it's just not a 6th round player at all.
All right, let's look at Tim's pitching staff. Carlos.
Oh, by the way, Randall Grichuk in round 9, like that's absurd, bro.
Yeah. That's a bad pick. All right, Carlos Carrasco, John Lesta, Tanner Roark, Jake Overeasy, Miles Mikolas, Jared Eichhoff, Marco Estrada, Addison Reed, Wade Davis. I think I have one word for you here. Oish.
There's some guys I like, some guys I don't. I love Carrasco. Fine with Lester. He's a workhorse. He's on a good team. Get run support. I'm worried about Wade Davis. Tanner Roark, I'm fine with, but he took him in round 11. Seems early. Odorizzi just has to cut down the home runs. I think going to Minnesota will help. I know Tampa was a good park, but getting out of the AL East, there's not a lot of good teams there in that Central. He'll get to face the Royals, the White Sox. The Indians obviously
he could get a lot of wins, but I don't know if his ERA is going to be a lot under a 4.
Even if his ERA is 4 in today's environment, that's fine when you're where he drafted him.
Right.
So
look, Tim's a nice guy, and I don't want to say a bad word. I'm just going to ask you this.
You could say a bad word. Who cares?
Okay, good point.
You could say his team's garbage if you wanted.
His team's not very good.
No, I don't think.
Do you think he was being too cute? You know what I mean? Like Grichuk in 9.
I have no.
Roark in 11. I'm not saying I don't like Grichuk. I do in round 15.
9. Round 9. I'm sorry. Like, I don't see how you can justify that pick.
I could have taken Eddie Rosario. How do I pass up Eddie Rosario for Randall Grichuk?
You know what? Well, Rosario, and this news came this morning, is really not throwing right now.
How about Moncada? You don't take Moncada?
Oh, I would. I would take Rosario, too. Here's the thing with Grichuk, why it makes it even a worse pick. This OBP. He had a 285 OBP last year. Do you know how negative that is? So Grichuk could come out and hit 30, 35 home. I like him. He went in round 17 of my fantasy baseball invitational. So there's reaching on players because you've talked about this. You know, you like a player, especially when you got to know the format in the room too. Grichuk was not going earlier than round 13, and I think probably more 16, 17. There's reaching on a player, 1 or 2 rounds, 3. Reaching 9 rounds?
Right. No, I'm all about reaching 2 or 3 rounds. I am. I'm all about doing that. I believe in the high stakes philosophy. I will reach 2 or 3 rounds, no problem. Reaching 7 or 8 rounds, and maybe I did that with Luke Weaver in the FSTA, and I'm willing to take the hit on that.
You didn't do it 9 rounds, though. You maybe where he's going
3.
now, 2, 3, yeah.
Right. So it turns out I was ahead of my time, Ronis, right? Because Luke Weaver in this draft was an 8, and I took him in 6. So I was a little off. But I still think as we get closer, he may even go in round 7. But Grichuk, dude, come on. I mean, and I just don't see it. Miles Mikolas in 17, he hasn't gotten a guy out in spring training.
That's bad. Like, look, you don't want to put everything on the spring. But when you have a guy coming over from Japan who struggled in the big leagues previously, and he's going out there and he can't get it out here in the spring, you got to push him down the draft board. You can't take him that early. Now, maybe it works out, but again, we can't sit here and look back in 5 months and say, oh, he was right. You know, you got to make the decision now. You're not always going to get it right. It just doesn't make any sense to take him in that spot.
Dude, I like some of Tim's reserve guys better than I do his starting guys. I like Lenny Chisenhall and Yangervis Solarte better than I do some of his starters.
Yeah, Solarte is a good pick in this format. He's got eligibility in this format. I believe it's 2nd, 3rd, and short, and he's going to get some time. Troy Tulowitzki's not going to be ready to begin the year. We know.
And what if I told you Chisenhall could go 25-90?
Yeah, Chisenhall's fine too. Yeah, definitely. And Addison Reed, I like. You know, there's always the potential he could close. So yeah, some of the picks later on, but just where he took some of these guys is perplexing.
It was perplexing. Look, like I said, once I know Tim knows baseball. Right, I get that. So I would like to know what he was thinking there. Greg Ambrosius, Contreras, and Real Muto. That's a nice little catching core, Ronis.
It is. You have to pay for it though, but you know there's different.
Did he overpay? He took round 4 and round 12. I think he overpaid for Contreras, but not for Real Muto.
Yeah, because there was a dry spell where people didn't take any catchers.
Right, but I mean, I think Contreras, he could have waited. But, he got Kenley Jansen. I can't really argue that. So, I mean, if I just flipped him, I'd be okay with that. Then he's got Miguel Cabrera, Alex Bregman, Hosmer, DeJong, Trey Turner, Ketel Marte. I could find some love for that infield.
Yeah, there's some good picks here for sure.
Bregman and Turner, I'm just fine with.
Yeah, I like Bregman for sure. I think he was definitely a guy I would have considered in round 3. If he was there, it would have been tough with Bregman and a pitcher. I probably would have went Bregman.
Now, I think I worry about Greg's outfield. Rosario, Polanco, Dahl, Calhoun, Jose Martinez, and Hanley Ramirez at Util. Look, I know we both like Polanco. We both like Rosario. You need a lot to go right there to have for this outfield to work.
You do. I mean, he waited on the outfield and didn't take one till round 9. So that's what you're kind of staring at. And you're going to have to hope that a few of these guys can exceed expectations. I do expect Polanco to bounce back. He worked out diligently in the offseason and went with more agility drills than weightlifting because he said he lost flexibility and he had a lot of hamstring injuries last year. So the talent.
He went back to his old trainer. Did you see that?
Yeah. I wrote a piece on that on scoutfantasysports.com, so check it out. It's part of the draft kit in depth on Polanco. Rosario, really good year last year. Nice lineup. Something to keep an eye is on this elbow because he can't throw right now. Dahl is a wild card. I mean, he could start the year in AAA. I mean, we know the talent is there, but he lost all last year.
All right, and then let's look at Greg's pitching staff. We have Strasburg, Berrios, Sanchez, Santana, Cobb, Leake, Reyes, Bradley, Jansen. I like some of these names, but Reyes could be in trouble. Alex Cobb's not on a team. Irvin Santana, I worry about his grip in Minnesota when he had finger surgery. There's some guys I like, but I think there are a lot of question marks.
Yeah, there definitely is. This could be rough for him. Strasburg I like, Berrios I like, and I think Aaron Sanchez can bounce back.
I like Bradley and Jansen. Bradley and Jansen are fine, but after those guys, it's a mess.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of question marks on this pitching staff.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the news you just gave me. Gene McCaffrey coming on tomorrow, Ronis.
Yes, he will join us. He was in this draft, and he picked 8. I picked 10, so we'll talk about it.
And Mike Brumley, the Atlanta Braves hitting coach, will be with us tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. All right, we're going to continue covering more of Mixed League Tout when we return right after this.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-292-8137 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-292-8137 for your free author submission kit. Again, that's 800-292-8137.
Have you ever wanted to have a fantasy expert in the palm of your hand? Or better yet, in the pocket of your khakis? Well, check it out. Now you can. It's the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app. Download it now to your phone. We promise no weird viruses, no strange tracking things. Just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of pure fantasy knowledge dropping all over your head. It's the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app. Stop being a weirdo and streaming it online. Get it on your phone. Take it with you everywhere you go.
Hi, it's Adam Ronis, a 2-time Tout Wars winner and senior fantasy expert at Scout Fantasy Sports, and I'm back on the air here at the Fantasy Sports Network. 78% of our subscribers took home a fantasy title in 2017. Scout Fantasy Sports is the source for expert analysis and the best mid to late round players to lead you to a fantasy title. There is no better team of baseball experts in the industry than the team here at Scout Fantasy Sports. Don't be a sheep and follow the herd. Sign up today at scoutfantasysports.com.
Watch Craig Carton live, the top 8 at 9 on Twitch.tv from the Fantasy Sports Network Studio 34 every Monday through Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. Do you want to be a part of the show? Take part in the Twitch chat room and give me your opinions or call in 844-84-FNTSY. Go to Twitch.tv/Craig Carton Live and get in on the action. Come get some. It's Craig Carton Live, the top 8 at 9, only on Twitch.tv.
In this league,
I want you to pull up Didi Gregorius' numbers. We're going to do compare. Average for Marwin, 303.
287.
RBIs, 90.
87.
Marwin Gonzalez is a better player, and he's going 60 picks lower, and he qualifies at every damn position in fantasy. I don't get it.
Well, are we playing 2017 fantasy baseball or are we playing 2018 fantasy baseball?
I forgot. You say all the Yankees are going to hit 40 homers.
I want RBIs. Every Yankee I could get.
Listen live on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network and on popular podcast providers.
Skix sneakers are taking over tailgates and alumni homes across America. Skix canvas high top, low top, slip-on, and kids tennis style sneakers designed in officially licensed college colors and logos is a must-have for every college fan's wardrobe. Fun, fashionable, and comfortable. Whether you're at the big game or watching the game at home, Skix helps fans perform better. Go to Skix.com and use promo code FNTSY for 15% off your pair now. That's Skix.com. Skix sneakers, the soul of a true fan.
All right, we're back. Scout Fantasy Sports, Dr. Roto along with Adam Ronis, and I want to welcome you to the next generation of fantasy football, the fan-controlled football league where fans manage real teams and are rewarded for their successes through the league's proprietary fan token. In the FCFL, fans scout players, draft rosters, hire coaches, call plays, and even help design their team logo. The FCFL will feature 8 professional teams playing 7-on-7, fast-paced indoor football. To learn more about Fan Token and the FCFL, visit fcfl.io. Power to the fans. Ronis, if you could have a team logo, what would your team be?
I have to think about that. It might not be appropriate, so I probably would not get approved. That's the problem.
Ronis, can you get your mind out of the gutter for just seconds, please? Just seconds.
I can't. Sorry. It's impossible.
All right. By the way, Ronis, I just want to wish you and everybody up there in the Northeast good luck. People are losing power. There's going to be a lot of snow. So just be safe out there, dude.
Yeah, it's, I think initially people were complaining, but they were like, oh, yeah, where's this storm? Because it was pretty much like rain and no snow. But all of a sudden, in the last few hours, it has really picked up. And depending on where you are, it could be a foot of snow.
How many inches outside your house?
Right now, not much, but it looks like that because I know a lot of people took off working from home. It just seems like it's delayed, but it's supposed to snow till the end of the night.
I don't know if this is going to make you feel any better or not, Ronis, but tomorrow it's only supposed to hit about 69 here. That's pretty cold.
Yeah, you're complaining about that. It's unbelievable.
Just throwing it out here. Just throwing it out here. It's going to be a little chilly tomorrow. It was 80 degrees
here 2 weeks ago, and now it looks like it's going to be low 40s for the next week.
Look, we have to turn the heat on in our house when it hits 69, Ronis. It's like 40 at night.
I don't use heat. Even now, it's got to be like 15 degrees for me to turn on heat.
I don't use heat either, but when you have wife and kids, you start
to have to use
when
my girlfriend is, she complains how cold it is. I'm like, geez, and then it's a sauna, and I can't sleep, and I have to shut it off.
Right, all right. Well, is it like when I lived up north, it was either when you turned on a little heat, it was a lot of heat. There was like no middle ground.
Oh, yeah, I hate it. I don't know. I just get hot very quickly. So, I barely use the heat at all. It has to be really cold.
When I was a kid growing up, it was low, medium, or high. That was it. And for heat and for air. So if you wanted it between low and medium, you just got what you got. So low might have been too cold, medium would have been too high.
Yeah, everyone's different, but yeah, I just can't stand a lot of heat. It doesn't sit well with me.
But central air, Ronis, and central heat, that's what you need, dude.
That's why I have it in 2 rooms. It's the heat and the AC is in the bedroom and the living room.
Oh, there you go. Okay. As in the control, can you press a number and it goes from 72 to 71?
That's just low, medium, high.
Oh, okay. There you go. Same thing as I had grown up. Yeah. All right, let's continue with Mixed League Tout. By the way, did I mention, Ronis, that you can get fantasy football for breakfast if you go to scoutfantasysports.com? Did you see the Lions might be trading Eric Ebron?
Yeah, right. When he was inconsistent. He came on strong the second part of the year. I think we've kind of been waiting for that breakout. It hasn't happened. We've seen flashes, but he did come on strong in the second half last year.
He did so, but you can get all these nuggets for fantasy football for breakfast at scoutfantasysports.com. The football season's never over, Ronis. Any interesting things? By the way, before we get back to baseball, did you see anything interesting in football with any pickups or trades or anything?
No, not yet. No, you just hear, it'll start to come once free agency is official next week.
You think the Broncos get Case Keenum?
Possible. Look, if I'm Cousins, don't you want to go to Minnesota?
Oh, you better believe I'm going to Minnesota. I'll tell you where I'm not going. To the Jets. There's no way I'm going to the Jets.
Why, though? I mean, Minnesota obviously is ideal.
Do I have to answer that question? Because I'd like to win.
They wouldn't be that far off, I think, if Cousins went there.
The Jets, they're far off. The Minnesota and Denver are much closer.
Well, Minnesota definitely. It sounds like Denver, though, with the salary cap issues, might not happen. I know they want him really bad.
If I'm Cousins, I'm going to a dome. Minnesota's a nice place to raise a family. The team is really good around me. They can pay me decent money. I mean, isn't he from that area anyway? Didn't he go to Michigan State? He's probably not. He lives close to that. I'm going to Minnesota.
I mean, look, Minnesota's the ideal spot, but let's not forget, everyone says, oh, Minnesota, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Don't count that guy
I heard
out.
He's good. Is he any good?
Yeah, he's okay.
Let me ask you this. All right, we'll digress from baseball. I'll get back to it in a second. You are offered $60 million over 3 years to play for a team that's going to win no more than 3 games, okay, each year. Or you're offered $30 million for 3 years for a team that can make the playoffs each year and have a legit Super Bowl run. Adam Ronis, what are you doing?
Look, everyone can sit here and say, oh, I want to win it. You guys are all taking $60 million. And if you're saying you wouldn't, you're all full of shit. You really are. You're taking $60 million. For real.
Well, it's really 30. It's really $30 million more because I offered you 30 for 3 years on the good team versus 60 on the bad team. So you're giving up 30 mil.
Right. Who would do that? Honestly. Again, I hate when people, oh, well, what's the difference, 30 and 60 million? You're saying that from a perspective of making, I don't know, between 40 and 80K a year. So, yeah, it's a huge jump. But you don't leave $30 million on the table. I'm sorry. And there's no guarantee you're going to win anyway if you take the 60. So,
all right, let me new hypothetical. Same amount, 60 million 3 years. You're the seller. You suck. You're bad. Versus the other one, I guarantee you win 1 Super Bowl in the 3 years.
For the same price?
No, you're getting 3 years, 30 million versus 3 years, 60 million. But I guaranteed out of the one of the 3 years, you win the Super Bowl. Does that change your answer?
Am I the MVP of the Super Bowl and do I get endorsements?
You are not the MVP, but you have a big fat Super Bowl ring on your finger.
Look, I love to win. You know me. I'm so competitive. I don't want to lose at anything. Anyone who knows me know that. Like, I don't care what we're doing. I want to beat your ass. So, I want to win the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong.
But for $30 million, is the Super Bowl worth $30 million to you, Adam Ronis? That's a lot. It's a lot to give up.
Yeah, it really is. And
but
again,
your entire
I know there are people listening right now that are saying, "Oh my God, it's $30 million." You guys are saying that from a perspective of not having money.
No, $30 million sets your life out forever. Right. You're financially secure forever, and your family and everything.
Life is not all about money. Unfortunately, every decision is made on that, and we stress it so much because you need money to live. But it doesn't buy happiness. I don't care what anyone says. It might for the first 2 weeks if you win the lotto, but it's not going to make you happy for the rest of your life. There's other little things that make you happy. It's not all material things, but you're a human, man. I'm sorry. If you're sitting down and you have a check in front of you for 60 or 30, every one of you is taking 60. And if you say no, you're lying.
Oh, well, I
want to see you in that situation, too. I want to see you. That's why I hate when people blame athletes. Oh, the Robinson Cano thing drove me nuts. I heard Yankee fans, oh, I can't believe he could have had 180 playing for the Yankees. Instead, he went to Seattle where he's never going to win and get 250. You all would do it, man. You guys are lying. You're lying. I want to see you sit at a table and turn down 250 and take the 180. You're not doing it. You're not.
Dennis Roy, what would you do, my friend? Dennis in Wisconsin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you taking the money or are you taking the championship?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm signing with the Jets right away.
He's taking the money, Ronis. What? Yeah. So you go for the extra $30 million, you don't care about the Super Bowl ring?
Oh, yeah. I'll make Robbie Anderson work for me.
Well, look, I appreciate the honesty. I mean, do you blame guys for taking – so, Dennis, let me ask you this. Do you blame guys for taking the money when they take the money? Are you angry at them?
No, because, I mean, if I was put in the same situation as, like, just what Adam said, I mean, I haven't seen that much money in my lifetime. I'll never probably see that money in my lifetime. So why wouldn't I take that money? I mean, would I want to have a championship? Absolutely. But in the end, you know, if you're throwing tens of millions of dollars at me extra and provides for my family later in life, I'm just going to take the money.
Ronis, redo this hypothetical. You win the Super Bowl, you're the MVP of the Super Bowl, and you get the beautiful endorsements and you get to go to Disney World. What are you doing now?
That could change it a little bit because, you know, who knows what type of endorsements you get. And that's the other thing to factor, too, how much off-the-field stuff, also depending on where you play. So, you know, you kind of do the math and add it up, and maybe that's an extra chunk of money where you say, you know what, okay, I'm good bypassing, you know, $15 million because I'm going to get to win. I'm going to star in commercials. I'm going to go for interviews. I'm going to get endorsements. So that is something that you take into account.
Yeah. All right. I see that. All right. What's up, Dennis? How you been doing in DFS?
I've been doing all right. I've been trying to learn how to play DFS and NHL with Renner, and it's been good. You know, I've been getting up there in tournaments and stuff. I haven't gotten the big money yet, but slowly but surely, I keep telling Steve all the time, I'm like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it one of these days. So
he's a really good player, Judd. Renner's really good at NHL.
Oh, he's really, really good. I like reading his stuff and using the optimizer to fill in any blank spots that I've got on my core and stuff. So it's really good.
Adam, do you play NHL DFS at all?
No, I play NBA pretty much every day, so I have to use my time to focus before lineup block on NBA.
But if you read Renner's hockey article, you feel like you can win that night. He's really good.
Oh, I'm sure. I know he does well, and I see that the subs are happy. So I just, you know, have to. I'm busy preparing for baseball and doing slow drafts all day, and then I have that window where I do NBA. So I just like playing NBA.
So, are you playing any NBA, Dennis?
No, I stepped away from NBA just because it's really hard within that hour window before lock for me to sit there and kind of pay attention to it.
Right.
So it's just not worth my time. I'm not saying that it's not something I'm not interested in. It's just if I can't be there, then I'm not going to take the chance to waste some money.
So you're doing a bunch of scout leagues, right? I know you're in one of my leagues, right? How many more leagues are you doing for baseball?
I'm in one more league with Corey, and I'm planning on doing two more. I'm going to start them this week since those two are kind of getting towards the back end. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to stick mostly to the 44s this year. I'm not going to get in any other actual seasonal move leagues because I'm starting football stuff actually now this month because I'm going to go down to the draft this year. So.
Oh, really? Good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you going to represent Scout?
Yeah, I'm
going to
go down there. I'm going to represent.
Yeah,
I'll go down there. I'll go down there and rep Scout. I'm building my database right now. I actually finally got a laptop, so I don't have to do any writing on my phone anymore. So, you know, I put on my big boy pants.
Well, good for you. All your DFS winnings finally paid off.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it did.
All right, my man, before we let you go, give me one baseball player who's a sleeper for you this year.
I'm kind of looking at Gohara out of Atlanta. I really like him.
All right. Adam, you like Gohara?
Yeah, I've taken him in a draft or two. Probably the Scout 44s. He's a little bit behind with the groin injury, but got a powerful arm, just needs to harness the control, which is usually what you see with some young pitchers. But I think there's going to be an opportunity for him to get in this rotation, and I could see him being a late-round guy. He's still young, only 21 years old. But what we saw of him last year, the glimpse, looked pretty good.
Yeah. All right, Dennis, talk to you soon, my friend. Be well.
All right, sounds good. Take care.
All right, you got it. Yeah, Steve Renner is killing it on Scout DFS in the NHL.
You been playing hockey?
Very rarely, but if I do, I've won. I just don't do it consistently enough. But I read his article, and like Dennis said, you know what? You read the article, you put in a couple of skaters that he has, and then you click the optimize button, and you work around that. And you should win a lot of money. You should win in cash every night.
Yeah, and that's the goal. So maybe I'll have to try it out one of these nights. It's just NBA is just such jam-packed right before the hour. And then right when I finished Tout last night, I see Anthony Davis and Payne in the locker room. I was like, I tweeted out, I'm like, we were due for a trip for the locker room for Anthony Davis. He came back in and had a monster game, over 40 points, 13 rebounds, and it was a good game. Pelicans blew a big lead. It was close late. They pulled it out. And he's amazing, Anthony Davis.
Dude,
and I had him in my lineup.
235. That game was a 235.
I loaded up. I had Lou Williams, Anthony Davis, Austin Rivers, who sucked, each one more. That was a game where in cash you wanted to have 4 to 5 guys.
I did, Ronis. I had like 7 guys in that game, and I won. I had Drew Holiday and DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, Holiday I like too. Well, you played on FanDuel?
I played on DK. I put them all on. I put them all on. I put up 287. I thought I was going to win more money, but I didn't.
Yeah, I think I had like a 292.
Yeah. All right, when we can come back, we'll finish up talking a little more fantasy baseball when Scout Fantasy Sports returns right after this.
Thanks. I think someone has a crush on you. Okay, who? Let's make a game of it. One of these is a lie. He's 6'4". He collects stuffed exotic birds. He spends his free time trying to save lives. Are you talking about Kevin? Yeah! He's a registered bone marrow donor. Last week he got a call. He might be a match. He's so cute. Oh, he is.
You could be a life-saving match for a patient with blood cancer. Learn more at dkms.org.
Steiner Sports is the leading memorabilia provider for the New York Yankees, Rangers, Giants, Knicks, and the Brooklyn Nets. Featuring hundreds of items from your favorite athletes, Steiner Sports is your source for the best sports gifts. Go to steinersports.com/box and shop our collection of memorabilia boxes, which include 10 gifts for the price of one. We've made one for each of your favorite teams. Hurry, supplies are limited, and these are some of the best deals we have ever offered. So go to steinersports.com/box today.
Hey there, everybody. It's me, Joe Pizzapia. Baseball is back, and that means the Fantasy Baseball Black Book is back as well. It's me, it's Paul Sporer writing starting pitching profiles. It's Jake Seeley. It's Sammy Reed writing DFS. It's a whole lot of greatness right here for you. You can get the new Fantasy Black Book for baseball on Amazon, on iTunes. You can get it in paperback. You can get it for your Kindle. You can get it anywhere you want, but make sure you get it, because once you go Black Book, you never go back.
Hey, I'm Jeff. Look, I'm just a skeleton. I don't have an ACL anymore, but I'd still like to know what it means when one of my fantasy players sprains his. That's why I use the Inside Injuries app. It was created by real doctors, so you're getting information directly from people who have seen, touched, and operated on actual ACLs. Take it from me, a skeleton. If you aren't using it, you might as well just be guessing. Download the free app today and unlock the secrets of injury analysis.
Fantasy Baseball Hour with Al Melchior.
So I waited until my 6th pick to take Masahiro Tanaka. And I got to say, I'm liking my pitching staff okay. I've got a bunch of number 2 starters. I just don't have a real ace.
I've got guys I like too. I got Zach Galli, Luis Castillo, and Alex Wood. These are kind of polarizing pitchers. I got Luis Castillo towards the back end of his ADP according to these drafts. So
that's pretty cool.
Listen live on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network and on popular podcast providers.
Have you ever wanted to have a fantasy expert in the palm of your hand? Or better yet, in the pocket of your khakis? Well, check it out. Now you can. It's the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app. Download it now to your phone. We promise no weird viruses, no strange tracking things. Just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of pure fantasy knowledge dropping all over your head. It's the Fantasy Sports Radio.
All right, we're back. You there, Adam?
I am here.
It was touch and go there for a second. But we're here. We're Scout Fantasy Sports, Dr. Roto, along with Adam Ronis. I'm trying to see, I got my basketball juices flowing the last 2 nights, Ronis. I've cashed the last 2.
Yeah, 2 nights ago I didn't. I got back on track last night thanks to Anthony Davis, who I always joke around, like, there's something in that locker room that lures Anthony Davis in. I don't know if every time he gets hurt, goes in there, he gets food, if there's a girl waiting for him, maybe like Darryl Strawberry. Remember, he used to have sex between innings, so I don't know if that's going on. But, like, Davis was on a nice streak. He's been tearing it up with no DeMarcus Cousins, and you felt confident. You never feel confident putting Anthony Davis in your cash games because there's a risk. So I finished Tout. I had the game on TV. I wasn't paying attention. I finished Tout. I looked up. I'm like, okay, good. It's a high-scoring game. The over-under was like 237. So I said, okay, this is looking good. And then I see Anthony Davis heading to the locker room in absolute pain. I'm like, you have to be kidding me, because I paid up for him on DK. And unfortunately, he did come back, and he finished with 73.75 on DK last night.
Can I play Jokic tonight? He hasn't done very well the last 3 nights.
They benched him yesterday. Benched
know.
a lot of their starters late in the game, and that's crazy because Denver needs to win. Like, they're fighting for a playoff spot. So, look, he's in a good spot tonight because we know Cleveland is horrible defensively, and that looks to be a high-scoring game tonight as well.
Can I play anybody on sack of tomato, Ronis?
Yeah, I mean, we got to see what their lineup is. I mean, if they're short, I think Willie Cauley-Stein is not going to play, so maybe Costa Koufos if you want to save money. He's 4,400. Going against
Scal playing.
He's questionable. I think he's banged up again too. So yeah, if like he's out and Cauley-Stein's out, I think you look at Koufos for 4,400 on DK.
You like I always like De'Aaron Fox. Do you like De'Aaron Fox?
I don't play him much. It kind of depends on the matchup. But, yeah, he's not bad. I mean, look, Sacramento's a team you got to wait on because they just you have no idea what they're going to do in terms of who they're going to play.
I'm just throwing names down, Ross. I'm just throwing names down of guys that I might have interest in. In case I decide to be stupid and play later on tonight, which I probably will be. I'm a sucker for this stuff, Ross. You know what? My son wants to play, though. Every night he comes home and he goes, can we play?
And you're not letting him play yet? I mean, he is young, so...
He's 11!
What are you afraid if you get him involved now, he's going to become a degenerate gambler at like 14?
So he goes to me, Dad, we can play tonight? I go, not now. He goes, what do you mean not now? I go, your mother's here. Like, I need him talking about it in front of my wife. Seriously, that's the last thing I need. We'll both be in GA. Me and my son will be sitting next to me at GA, Ronis.
Yeah, it's a tough decision to make there. I mean, the kid loves basketball.
Loves it. Knows every player, dude.
And this will make him watch it even more. I'm sorry. Like, we've all been there. I mean, I had more interest watching that Pelicans game last night because I had 4 guys in the game.
Can I tell you, and I say this with this kid may know more about basketball than almost any single person I know outside of you and Brian Gelsiler.
That's good, man. Look, it's nice to have a passion at a young age, and maybe he follows it and becomes a writer, reporter, analyst, whatever it is.
I hope so. But he knows like guys like Wes Unseld. He knows the old guys, too, because of his game.
That's great. I mean, you got to appreciate the history of anything, and I think sometimes that gets lost in all aspects for young people nowadays is knowing the history of not only a sport, but anything, music, whatever it is. You should know the history of it.
Do you know what we watch on NBA Channel? We watch the players-only conversations. You know, we saw the one with Isaiah and Magic, the one with Bird and McHale. And my son loves, I mean, literally, he can watch them all day and learn. And then he'll be like, was ML Carr a dirty player? I'm like, the dirtiest. You know, he'll ask questions like that. And then he'll just ask questions about players he's never heard of before.
No, that's good. I mean, and I thought the Kobe Shaq interview was great. That was All-Star Weekend. That was phenomenal. Like, I would have watched it if it was like 4 hours. It was so good.
I know. Did you see when Kobe won the Oscars? Shaq was like, I'm jealous.
I did not. I didn't watch the Oscars. I just tuned into the end. I was watching my shows that night. I really don't care about the Oscars. I think the only movie I've seen was Get Out. But I tuned in.
Get Out was good, dude.
It was. I tuned in to see like the leading actress, and movie. I saw Kobe did win. Did you see the Kobe short film?
I didn't see it. I saw him win the award, but he was pretty humble. He didn't
Well, he took a shot when that chick who made a comment about LeBron, and Kobe's like, "Oh, I thought basketball players are just supposed to dribble the basketball."
Yeah, I saw that.
But I look. There's a lot of people who hate Kobe. I love him. I just love his passion, his drive, his determination. I'm a huge Kobe fan. There's a lot of people who despise him, but I'm a huge fan. Did you see any of the other movies, and are they good? Worth seeing?
Dunkirk was very good.
I was thinking about seeing that. Worth seeing?
Yeah, because you know what? There's very little dialogue, and you're still on the seat. You're at the edge of your seat.
Okay,
Really
cool.
good.
So I'll put that on the agenda.
Get Out.
You know what
was
I need
excellent.
to do?
And I want to see 3 Billboards in. I think I do want to see that one.
Okay. And what was the other one? The Darkest Hour?
Well, that one's about Winston Churchill in World War II. So you got to be in your history mode for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so many movies I haven't seen, and I always say I have to put a list down because what happens is I'll be sitting around, okay, let's watch a movie, and I'm like searching through Netflix, and there's nothing good. And I'm like, wait, there's so many movies I haven't seen. How come I can't think of them? I need to put like in the notes section of my phone, like, okay, movies. And just,
right, and then just get them off one at a time. But I saw Get Out was on HBO, and I taped it.
It's good. I saw that.
Good.
That was no, I'm sorry. I did see a movie recently. But that's I usually go to the movies. It feels like once a year.
And you saw that, right?
That it wasn't. I saw a movie since then, but I saw that last July,
right?
And then I've seen one since then.
We see it, and we're watching the first half, and my wife is trying to decide whether she's freaked out or it's great. And then I say to her the next day, I said, this movie was nominated for multiple Oscars. She goes, really? And then we watch the end of it, and we're blown away. And she's like, it's like the Twilight Zone. What a movie! Like she was thinking about it for like 3 days after.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good too. It was a crazy concept, and you're just sitting there like, damn. So, yeah.
I knew something. You know when you're watching, I knew something was up, but I just didn't know exactly what was up.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at the twist there.
Right.
I kind of didn't expect it.
But it also had comedy too.
Yeah. No, I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it.
It was good. But Dunkirk was good, dude. It was good. If you like war picks. You like war picks?
Yeah, I do. So I'll put that. I'll have to remember to see that.
Yeah, it was good. So I don't know. I just never can go to enough movies. All right, let's get back to baseball here, Adam. I digress. Did you see who? Oh, Perry Van Hook. Did you see how many guys on his team were named Brad?
I did not notice that.
Brad Peacock, Brad Ziegler, Brad Hand, Brad Boxberger. What's up with that?
I guess he believes in the power of Brad. And that might. Do I have any Brads? Maybe I can make a deal with him. I don't think I do. Oh, Bradley Zimmer. That's close enough, right?
It is Brad Zimmer, right?
All right. I think I'm going to have to. Like, hey, I see you have a fetish for Brad. You're interested in making a deal for Brad Zimmer? I'll leave off the Lee.
All right. He took Bryce Harper in round 1. That didn't surprise you because of the OBP, right?
No, I would. If he fell to me, I'd be like, thank you. You know what? Here's the other thing, too, that's kind of funny is people always kind of stress out about the first-round pick. Rudy took Bryce Harper number 2 overall last year, and he didn't play the whole year and wasn't great. He won the league. So it's like, again, it's the middle to late round picks, trades, and working the waiver wire. That's why these stupid projected standings mean nothing. And I would say that if they had me in first, a couple I've seen don't like my team. That's great.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Dude, did I ever tell you it was Yahoo one year, and I did a fantasy football draft.
Oh, boy. I know where this is going.
I just exploded for 2 hours about Yahoo giving me a C, dude. I won the league. I'm like, see that? You suck. I mean, who does these projections? Seriously.
Yeah, look, I get it. It's a talking point, and people like to brag. But, again, it means nothing in every sport. Can you name me a sport, if you're competitive and following it all year long, where your fantasy team is the same day one as it is in the end of the year? And especially in baseball, it's a 6-month season. Half the guys you draft right now, they might not even be on your team at the end of the year. But so much changes.
But if Yahoo gives me an A, do you know why I'm concerned about that, Adam? Because they're using last year's statistics. I'm using this year's statistics and what I project to be next year's statistics. Of course my team is going to get a C or a D.
Yeah, same with me. Like, what projections are they using? You know, they probably are really down on Tyon and Gausman and Walker. They probably have training for like 12 saves, thinking he's not the guy. They probably have Moncada for like a low average. So, you know, that's the issue is the projection systems, you don't know what they're projecting. And you, obviously, when you're doing a draft, you kind of pencil out what you have. That's what I do. I kind of say, okay, this guy's going to give me 25 homers, 20 steals, 90 runs, 280 average. And as long as your projections are on point and meet the top 3 of the league, you're happy with your team.
So he took Justin Turner he likes Justin's too, Perry. There's a couple of Justins here. He took Turner in 4, Travis Shaw in 5, DJ LeMahieu in 7. That's because it's an OBP league?
Yeah, Justin Turner was over 400 OBP last year. I like that pick. He's a really good hitter. The health, I guess, is the biggest concern. He's 33. You worry about the knee. Will he give him off days? The Dodgers have some depth. But I'm okay because, again, I think he's one of the best hitters around. Just seeing him play, every time I see him, he crushes the ball. And I still think there's more power in that bat. And Shaw had a very good year last year. I know maybe people are skeptical because it did come out of nowhere a little bit, but he got the opportunity to play every day. He's going to probably hit cleanup in this lineup. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to drive in, and you just need him. If he goes 30-100 and he even chipped in some steals last year, you're going to be happy. His OBP last year was 349, so solid, and he had 10 steals last year too. So
he did. Now Godley in round 6. I'm a Zach Godley guy, but that looks a little high for me.
I was surprised he went that early. He's obviously very high on Godley and didn't want to miss him. I would have. He went in front of some good pitchers.
He did win in front of some good pitchers, dude.
Yeah,
he went in front of Paxton and Keuchel and Cole. I mean,
but he's looked. I think he's going to be good. He had a good year last year. Obviously, humidor helps, and He had. I think it was yesterday. He had a great performance. So I get it, but this is kind of the situation where we talked about earlier, where he reached on a guy that he really likes. Godley probably would have went around, I guess, round 8 or round 9. And he wanted to secure him. And I think people did that in this round because there were a couple pitchers I thought I might be able to get that went a little bit earlier than I thought.
All right. What about no, I mean, he took, let's see. I was looking at it I'll look at it as a whole. Maybe that's a better way. I don't like Cesar Hernandez, but he got Kingery later on. Do you like covering themselves, or is that a wasted pick?
I understand it. I think Hernandez is a good player. He doesn't give you pop, so it really depends on roster composition. But this guy is hitting atop the lineup, which is pretty good. He'll get you some steals. He's a good OBP guy, and I do think the Phillies lineup is improved. So if he remains atop the lineup, he'll continue to score some runs. 85 runs last year, 15 steals. Yeah, no home runs, RBIs are going to hurt, but 373 OBP last year. So that's a nice get late at the middle infield, but there is the risk of, look, they love Kingery. They've tried him in the outfield a little bit. So it's probably going to be either second or they move or third. So Franco and Hernandez have some pressure. Do you trade
Franco, or do you just move Hernandez to third?
It's one of those possibilities. I think they want Kingery to be up, and I think it's going to depend on how those guys start the year. And maybe they do look to move one of them. But that's why Kingery's a guy that you're keeping an eye on closely.
What about Eric Thames, who last year, the guys at Baseball HQ liked him. I took him in labor. He was very good, especially in the beginning of the year. Then he tailed off a little bit. Can we go back to him, or do you think that he's not the real deal?
I think the problem is playing time, because unless the Brewers make a move, and maybe they do, because Zach Davies is dealing with an oblique. So they clearly need pitching. So if he's out, forget it. They need to make a move. We've been hearing Domingo Santana. Keon Broxton reportedly was the outfielder that they've actually got the most interest in. But that still doesn't help them, because that still leaves Santana, Braun, Yelich, Kane, Thames, Aguiar. So that's the problem I have with Thames. It's just he's probably not playing against lefties, period. He couldn't hit lefties this year. That was the biggest problem. He was fine against righties, but how much playing time is he going to get? If they don't make a move and they try Ryan Braun at first base and he's able to play there, Thames is not going to be an everyday player. So he's generally a guy that I've not been drafting at this point.
All right. I'm pitching. He had Verlander, Godley. We talked about Duffy, Tehran, Sabathia, Chatwood, Peacock, Ziegler, Hand, Boxberger, Hirano. Don't hate the closers. Actually like the Ziegler, Hand, Boxberger, Hirano thing. Don't love Sabathia and Tehran. It's a little scary to me, but it may work out for him.
Yeah, it's shaky for sure. I mean, you got a closer I love in Brad Hand, and then he's hoping one of those guys from Ziegler, Hirano, Boxberger hits. If that's the case, he'll be competitive in saves. Julio Tehran was a disaster last year, and I think part of the problem is that home ballpark. We didn't know how that new stadium in Atlanta would play out. Clearly, it's a haven for left-handed hitters. And Tehran just got beat at home. 5.86 ERA at home, 17 homers and 93 2/3. He still allowed homers on the road, but a 3.14 ERA. So that's the biggest problem. Maybe you don't pitch him at home. He did have some good home starts down the stretch, but certainly concerning that if he's facing a left-handed laden lineup at home, he could be in trouble.
All right, well, I'll just stop here because we'll do more tomorrow, and I know we'll talk to Gene tomorrow. I went through 5 teams. I think Rudy Gamble can beat you. I don't know if the rest of the other 3 could. Agree or disagree? Murphy, McCullough, Ambrose, Van Hook not winning.
Yeah, I think Rudy obviously has a solid team, and we know that his in-season management is good. So I'm always looking at him as one of the competitors to take down the crown.
All right, we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to go through tomorrow this mixed labor draft, mixed tout draft. I think this is very interesting, where people took players, and of course, if a lot of people out there, Adam, do you think people are starting to play in OBP leagues?
I think a little bit more. I know my home league has done it for a few years, so I think it's catching on a little bit. It's probably still average is the majority, but I do see 6x6 leagues and some head-to-head leagues using OBP, and points leagues don't use OBP, but you are looking for guys to get on base and walk. So I think it is becoming a little bit more popular.
Do you think that it will turn? Oh, wow, that was quick. All right, time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I want to thank Jeff Bergerson for joining us, FantasyGolfInsider.com. I want to thank Mike and Chris in the studio. And Ronis, great job with your draft last night.
Thank you. Let's hope it turns out to be a winner.
Absolutely. All right, guys, remember, ScoutFantasySports.com. Check us out. This is Dr. Roto saying be well. Take care.